Hi guys, Henry here. Today I'm going to be trying to show you how to put together a unit of cavalry using LycheeSlicer. Um, as you might know, the cavalry riders and their mounts are actually separate objects in the Cavalry Kickstarter for Europe Asunder, though I will be releasing like one mounted version of each figure. It's just if you want some pose variety, then you need to learn how to do this. It's pretty simple, and I hope I'll explain it in a nice, simple way. First thing I'm doing, you won't be able to see this, is I'm alt-tabbing to a folder that I have the models inside, and I'm just going to click and drag them into the workspace. So the first person I'm dragging out is the French Cuirassier Eagle Bearer, which is now loaded in. So there's our Eagle Bearer. I've done my best, like I really tried, to get uniform geometry on these figures so that the center of mass would be in the middle of the figure. But unfortunately, I don't know why, that's just not working. So when you drag these objects into your slicer, the slicer seems to be deciding where the center of mass is, which, well, the downside of that will become apparent in a second. When I drag in the mount for our chap here, we're going to have a Cuirassier small trotting horse number 4, just because that's the first one my mouse landed on. Here's the problem with our center of mass. You'll see the figure is not quite in the center, so just be aware of that. You'll need to like drag him over a little bit. You can do this by eye, it doesn't need to be an exact science. When I find the sort of like best settings, I will share those. If it turns out that all the cavalry kind of have like, say, every ensign for every nation has like the same kind of coordinates on the x-axis that will work, that might be the case. So we need to line him up visually. Use the hand as your guide and just try to get that hand so it's gripping the reins. I'm moving the figure by clicking and dragging on these arrows, just until it looks like he's holding the reins properly. And when I look at the figure from the front, the boots are just touching the sides in like a uniform fashion. I could actually move him down a little. I designed these figures so that the bits coming off the side of the boot should be just going into the horse, and where this protrusion here at the back of the boot is, it shouldn't be clipping into the strap, it should just be touching the front of the strap, so like this was what I'd intended. Although I don't know, that appears to be contradicting the evidence in front of us, doesn't it? Because that's not lining up with the hand. Okay, well, I think like that is fine. Does he look centered? Okay, yeah, I think that's as good as we're getting him. So I'm going to click off, and then click and drag and select the entire figure, and move him over there. Now, we could export him as his own STL. If you click export, export to 3D file, and yeah, I'm just going to click on my desktop. You can't see this again. Click on my desktop, and that figure's now gone. So that's one way of merging them. But we could, you know, just keep him in here, save this as a Lychee light scene, and then we can come back to this. It will import the model every time, and we can work from him. But yeah, I'm just going to put together a unit now. So I've alt-tabbed again. You can't see this. I'm putting in another horse. I'm going to put in Trotting Horse 3 for the Cuirassier, and let's bring in the Trumpeter. Now, if I'm not an idiot, the horses should be on the same like line. Oops, sorry, that's a work message there. And same thing here with this figure. Now, because the size of this figure is different from this one, because when calculating the center of mass, Lychee is accounting for this eagle standard, his coordinates will not be the same, most likely. So for each pose type, you're going to have to do this kind of by eye. But of course, you can remember what X setting you used, and then you know, that'll make it faster next time, hopefully, if those are uniform between nationalities. Again, his boots just need to be touching that strap. And the hand, move him down. And you'll notice that the trumpeter actually has a built-in support that's supposed to go off the top of the horse's head into the bottom of his trumpet. And there you go. Now, I would... Oh, whoops. Control Z is undo, by the way, guys. I would move this guy so he's just about touching like that. But it doesn't really matter. If you're printing them as separate bases, then obviously you can do it anywhere like this. If you wanted them as a single base, that might get a bit complicated because you would need to move. What would happen if I moved the horses to the same Y coordinate? There we go, 0.09. So I'd need to take minus 0.09 off of this. That would be 4.2. There you go. And now they're lined up as like a single base. And yeah, I'm going to make a battalion file for every unit type like I did with the infantry. So hopefully you won't have to go through all this, but if you did want to like tinker with things, let's say you wanted to scale the horse, by the way, scaling feature here in Lychee. Let's say we wanted to put the Z at 120. Oh god, that was more exaggerated than I expected it to be. 105? Okay, maybe you wanted that for like a larger horse. That's why it's important to have to do this stuff. Of course, now the rider's legs are being absorbed by the sheepskin. I'm going to be following this tutorial up with a minor sculpting tutorial, I think, so you can get around issues like this. Anyway, yeah, guys, that's how you unite your riders with their mounts and how you could put together a unit. I appreciate it was rather brief, but of course, as ever, if you have any questions, just let me know. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's our first sort of command stand. I still need to make some officer poses, so keep an eye out for those. And yeah, thanks for watching.